Leeds.
Hey guys, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds for your Leeds v Coventry City preview ahead of tomorrow's game at Elland Road at 3 o'clock. A game I'm going to and a game I'm thoroughly excited to be watching. Coventry not had the best starts to the season, just 1 win in 6, no wins away from home. Mark Robins is a very good manager and he had Daniel Farke's number on both occasions last season with a 1-1 draw at Elland Road and a 2-1 win. Very convincing 2-1 win over at their place. So yeah, 1 point out of 6 for us last season against Coventry. So hopefully we can right that wrong, and I firmly believe Farke will get the tactics right to get 3 points tomorrow. But yeah, Coventry, they have some really good players. Ellis Sims, Hadji Wright, Van Eric on at right back, very advancing, likes to get forward. Assist goals coming from that side as well. And when you've got strikers up front like Hadji Wright and Ellis Sims, you're always going to be a threat, especially on the counter, which I would assume that's probably how they'll set up. They're not wanting to really sit back, but I think that's the way teams are going to be at Elland Road this season. Sit back, hold tight, try and keep us chances to a minimal and catch us on the break, a bit like Burnley did. One mistake and it can be curtains. So I think it's very important we get the first goal, hopefully an early one, and then Coventry will have to come out and play a bit, which will then open the door for our front players to become more creative and get these chances and hopefully put more away than they've been scoring lately. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the expected goals table, we're second and Coventry are third, so that shows, that's proof that they're a very forward-thinking side, create plenty of chances, as that stat would suggest, so do Leeds. And the only difference in that is the expected goals conceded. They're a lot higher than Leeds. Their defence is nowhere near with obviously Leeds has been the best in the division so far this season. After that opening game to Portsmouth, we've sort of ripped those wrongs really. But yeah, I think the players Coventry have got do cause a huge threat to our side, especially a bit of a threadbare side potentially, depending on his injury, what is Farke announced in yesterday's press conference. So let's just go through them. The main one being Pascal Struijk. As we saw last season, him not in the starting lineup creates massive implications throughout the side. Especially with the news that Max Vober's not going to be fit either till probably after the international break. This would have been a chance for Vober to get back in and maybe right some wrongs. As it's turned out, it's not going to be the case, and we're only really left with De Bayo, who's a youngster who I just don't see that happening, or going to be Ampadu going back from centre mid to centre half for this game, and potentially whoever long Struijk's out, that's what'll happen. And as we saw last season, that partnership between Roden and Ampadu worked wonders, to be fair. We went on a really good run, unbeaten run, keeping clean sheets left, right and centre. So we know that works. And last season we moaned about the partnership even though we're doing well because we wanted Ampadu at centre at Park. This season he hasn't had the best start at centre at Park, and maybe dropping back to centre that, even though he's been okay the last few games and he's as captain and as linchpin, but I think sticking him back in centre half with Rodon, we'll see if it were a fluke last season, that run, or if that's a partnership that potentially, arguably, could be a strongest one. Who knows with that one? But it's mad how it starts. I mean, last season when that happened, Gruev couldn't get in the side, and it was Ampadu and Kamara, and then all of a sudden Struijk came out, Ampadu went to centre half, then Gruev got a run inside. I wonder if that's going to be similar this season for maybe Al Tanaka, because very similar situations occurring at the minute where he's come in, letting window, the team sort of set, Tanaka, all the fans are sort of screaming for Tanaka to start maybe over Gruev, and now he doesn't have to make that decision with Ampadu going to centre half. So if it's Tanaka, or it could be Joe Rothwell, we'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rothwell because Farke's big on trust and he's already give Rothwell a few minutes here and there, but I do know he's waxed lyrical about Tanaka. and I know a lot of fans are really looking forward to seeing him. He's a bit of a pass percentage merchant. Comes on for 10 minutes and does more passes than the whole Cardiff side has for 80 minutes previous. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him if he gets to start. But it's just funny how it happens sometimes. A couple of injuries here and there, and you get a chance. I remember last season, not an injury as such, but Somerville, breakout season, best player in the league. He wouldn't have even started on the left wing had Sinisterra not left. And sometimes we had it with Dan James and Nonto. Dan James is flying, Nonto's injured, he gets his games. Dan James gets injured, Nonto gets back in, he can't win his shirt back. A lot of times you have your team set, but an injury or two can just cause a bit of a ripple effect through the side and a couple of changes here and there, and you can be struggling to get your shirt back. And that's what this Leeds side has got this season. I think it's got, at least 2 players for every position. Even if it is people like Ampadu filling in, we can cope with these injuries, and I think the players that come in will be hungry, and the quality don't really drop as much, I don't think. I've got fingers crossed for Firpo because I know he's a bit of an injured out. Hopefully he's fit to play, because I don't want too many disruptions to that back four as it is. And obviously with Strout coming out, if Firpo's got to go from left back as well, you're left with Byram or Schmidt. Byron gives you a bit more solid base, but I'm interested to see how well Schmidt can get up and down the left-hand side. I know they both can play right back. I'm not too sure if Schmidt is more a left back than a right back, or which. I think he's right-footed, a bit like Byron. But I could see Byron playing tomorrow, giving a bit more solid on that side, especially with the change in defence already happening. I can see him just shoring it up a bit with Byron and letting Bogle have that freedom down right. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't expect any changes outside the forced changes. I know there's a lot of people calling for Joseph to potentially get dropped and start Pirot. I think we call for the subs to make an impact when they come off the bench, and I think it's working as it is. Yes, Joseph's not finding it back at net, but 6 games played, 4 G&A, 3 assists, 1 goal. For me, that's as a striker, you'd like it to be the other way around, but it's still 4 goal involvements in 6 games. He's doing all that hard work, all that unselfish work. He's putting his body around there, and he's missed a few chances, but I firmly believe he's his best striker option right now. And there's a big difference between starting a game and coming on with 20 minutes to go when game's a bit more stretched. Hence why Pirot's had a couple of breakaway goals. And yeah, he's the man you want in them positions if the ball's in the box. Pirot's by far his best finisher. But as it stands, I don't see any reason why Joseph doesn't keep his shirt, and Pirot can hopefully come off the bench and do a similar impact as he's been doing the last few games. So yeah, I'm really optimistic. I say most games, my previews will be 3-0 Leeds. This doesn't change. I'm hoping they come to play like I'm expecting a bit more of attacking play by Coventry than I've seen from some sides at Ellen Road, but it's hard because the blueprint is sit back, be tight back, and then try and catch up break. It's a really good blueprint that tends to work when you're playing us. But yes, I'm going to go for a 3-0 win, and I'm going to go Joseph to get a goal, and I do believe Pirot will come on late on and get another goal. And yeah, that's my preview for the Coventry game. There'll be a video coming out tomorrow at some point, a bit of a match day vlog as such. It won't really have much of the match on because I'm not one for having my phone out when games playing. I'm not doing that, but certainly maybe before the game, coming away from Ellen Road, discussing my thoughts with my best pal Priestley, going to and coming away from the game. So there'll be a video going on tomorrow night. But yeah, so cheers guys.